Alright, so it is now day 2 of working on the Eclipse. Yesterday we were working on getting this top intake manifold off. We were able to successfully get the bolts all right here for getting this top cover off. There are 2 pieces for this. There's a top piece and a lower piece, but we're able to take this top piece. But yesterday we had to stop because there are bolts down into there. It's kind of hard to see, but I'll show you once I get them out. But I was using an adapter similar to this, and this wasn't really doing the job because they're pretty tight on there. So today I'm going to try to figure out how I can get them out. So on here we have 2 arrows pointing to where those 2 holes are. Sorry, this light flickers really bad. But you can see there's 2 arrows pointing to the bolt, and this little zone from here to here is what's making this incredibly difficult. So if I get this light here, you can kind of see down there. Not really. I'll have a animated arrow pointing to where the bolt is, but there's also a few more bolts that are down there that need to be taken off. So that's what I'm going to try doing today. Once I get it all off, I'll show you where all the holes are and stuff like that. As far as other things we did, we got the throttle body off right there. So the throttle body has been disconnected. All of this, I can leave most of this stuff right here on. It's just some hoses that I have going up there have been disconnected to it. So after those bolts in the back are out, then the whole thing should just be able to lift up. Just like as more pointers for where stuff is. Here we have the fuel rail, and the fuel rail I want to try to leave on. Got really bad lighting, oh my gosh. You can see here we have the fuel rail. We have, this is just electrical wiring right here, and then underneath this rail, over here is a little bit easier, we have this rail right here. That goes to these fuel injectors that you can see in orange. Those are the electrical connectors for them. So we're going to keep working. On that and go to time lapse, I guess. So if you see this pipe right here, goes right in there. There's a bolt here and a bolt down there. Then there's a bolt underneath this, like down in there. And there's one up there that we got to get to. So again, once I'm done getting all those out, then I can show you where they're located better. And the ratchet I'm using, I literally just had in my hand. I got this ratchet right here that I'm using, and this works pretty well. The only thing is that the little sprockets in here, there's not really that many, so it's a bit difficult. So we'll see how that works. Alright, so it's been about a week now since I've worked on the car, and I mean, it's been a week since I started on it, not like constantly working on it. I did spend a lot of time yesterday with a couple friends to try to get the bolts out from back there, and I still couldn't get that one bolt from the tube that I'll have a picture of probably later, but there's a tube that goes in there, there's a top one and a bottom, but we couldn't get that bottom one out. So we tried a couple more different methods, and we figured out something that so we started brainstorming, and we got this idea that, so there's mounts connected to this. They're called lift supports. You can see, I'll have to zoom in here. You can see this right here. That is like that comes down and into a flat plane down there, and what that is it's kind of like a lift support. So there's like, what I want to say, there's like 4 bolts, 4 or 3 bolts there's 3 bolts that connect up on the mount on there. So I figured if we take all those bolts out, we can just move this whole thing back, and then we can get to that one a lot easier. And it seems like that would work. The only thing is, the last bolt for this doesn't want to stay in. The last bolt that's in there was too short like this. We got like all of this socket stuff going, and we were using this 12 mil, but it's weird because like when it's in there, you put it in like back there, and it kind of looks like this, and then there's an extension that comes from this end right here to go out. Maybe I'll just I'll just show you guys what I'm talking about. So it goes something like this. So we need to crank it going this way, but that socket is too short. The bolt is like right about, the bolt's like right there, right? So we need an extension, but the only extension we have is a 1/2 inch right here. But so this 1/2 inch brings it, instead of being from here all the way to like up here. So it's too long, and we end up hitting a heat shield. So I went ahead and I went to our local farmers and merch place, and we got this one, and it's just ever so slightly longer. They didn't have like a 1/4 inch, which is half of this. I thought I had one, but I wasn't able to find it anywhere, so that's kind of what that ended that trek. So yeah, now we're just kind of figuring out how we can do this. We also have this funky doodad right here. So what this special tool is we can pop this out. Oh shoot! This is a 1/2 inch size right here. And what these are for is they're for going into these types of sockets right here. I mean, it can either be like a hex or whatnot, but this goes through in there, and then you just put something on that side. So that's pretty neat. I might have to try using this again, so I guess we'll just have to figure it out. So yesterday when I was working on the car, the GoPro died, and I still didn't end up getting that bolt out. I ended up doing this. Yeah, it just says it all right here. It broke the socket. I broke the socket. This is a 1532, and this is the closest size down because I ended up stripping it. I used a 12 mil, so this was literally the closest thing next to that. 1532, and I went to O'Reilly's that evening to go look for them. I couldn't find any, and I also went to Menards and I couldn't find any there either. But I did pick up some other stuff, so I'm just gonna go over what I've got real quick, because it's been like a week since I started on this. I went ahead and I picked up NKG premium spark plugs. So these are not OEM spark plugs or original part. These are sports class, so that's like what, 2 horsepower? Not even that. But anyway, they're premium. They're supposed to last about 140,000 miles, so they shouldn't have to be changed. And yeah, because I do not want to have to take all that out again. Now for the bolt, I was at work today and I was telling my boss about everything that was going on. He was kind enough to let me use these sockets. Now these sockets are very special. If you look on the inside of here, you can see that there are, kind of hard to see, there are little grooves in there. You can see that there are grooves on the inside, kind of like a corkscrew. That's a little bit better. So what that'll do is as you're turning this, it'll want to suck it inward as you keep tightening it. And it also goes to a size smaller. If you look in there, it goes from it says right here, it goes from a 1.5 inch to 13 millimeter, or 13 to 1.5. So it goes in between that zone. So we'll either try this or this 11 mil, but the 11 mil might not work. If all else fails, I have a replica of the bolt right here. Here's the bolt that we're trying to take out, except it's kind of been stripped now. So what I might do is I might make a cut, kind of going down the middle, right down in the middle, so it kind of creates this groove in there, and then take a flathead screwdriver socket. It's a bit different, but it'd be a socket, and it'd go in here and try to pry it off that way. So if this doesn't work, I have to get the Dremel, and if the Dremel idea doesn't work, then I have to saw the tube off and buy another one. So alright guys, so it's been like half an hour since the video stopped, maybe like 40 minutes. I cannot get the bolt out because I don't have enough pressure pushing up into it. So I did a little bit more research, and this isn't how it looks in mine. Mine's going like up and down, this is going like left to right. But you see this tube right here, it goes down and into the exhaust down there. So I looked up some forums, and I got a pretty good image of where it is, and I think I can get it, but I'm not gonna have a lot of leverage. It's really difficult to see, and I'll do my best to see if I can show you guys. Oh my gosh. Alright, so I'll leave this as an image for now and have an outline of everything that I'm looking at. You can see right there, that's the tube that comes up and around to what's called the EGR. So I'm going to have to try to get that way down there loosened. Look at my next impossible challenge. That's like even worse than before. I don't even know if that's possible what I'm trying to do. Alright, recap time. So, oh wait, actually, no, not yet. Alright, now it is recap time. I'm going to go over everything that we've got so far in the rough rough price of what it was. So we have gaskets, high temperature gasket maker, which we shouldn't need. And we have new head bolts, the valves. I don't know if I'm going to order springs yet. Probably not. So that'll have to be done at a different time. We have performance spark plugs right here. So not OEM. These are high performance. So I paid for them. This was about $40. All of this was a pack, so it was about $200. These I just got today. These are ignition wires. These are lifetime. This has a lifetime warranty, so if they break, I can get some more for free. Thank goodness for that. I got a belt. This is the main serpentine belt. This is the main serpentine belt. This isn't a timing belt. That's something I have to get. Today we picked up these plastic pieces, which I'll show maybe in a different video or later on here what these go to. And then we got, this is the stuff right here that's most important. We have these sockets right here to get that bolt off in the back. This is another one my dad got, but this one isn't gonna fit, unfortunately. And then we got this right here is a special universal socket. So what this does right here is you put a bolt in, and these little things, they just bend down. I gotta change my camera time so the screen doesn't keep turning black. But these kind of push down right here, so you can pretty much stick this onto anything. You like push it, and then you can just turn it like that. Pretty nifty tool. Hopefully this stuff works. I'm really hoping this works. I don't think this and this are gonna work. That won't even fit. So this is kind of our lifesaver right here. So let's go give it a shot. Here's a better look at that socket. It's kind of hard to see. But anyway, this is our last hope. I think it's coming out. Woo! Yes! Ah! Ooh. No way I can take it out with my bare hand. Oh! Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, for waiting an entire week of nothing but pain and frustration, it is out. Look at that. That's it. That's what we needed. Right there. Gosh dang. This right here is going in a glass case. Wow. Okay. Well, now for the satisfying part. You guys ready for this? I said, are you ready for this? Alright, so in case you guys are wondering, before you take this off, before this comes off, right there, here, before this right here, this black piece right there, you need to come down over here, and then you have to take this out, and then there's a bolt right there. Now, after getting that out, oh my gosh, I gotta move some of this wiring out of the way. So just start taking all these clamps and stuff out right here, like these hoses, like right here. There we go. So now all this is off right here. You don't want to forget where all that goes, otherwise you might have sensor issues and stuff. So I'm going to pop that out, figure out how this comes off. You know, I think what I'm going to do is there's 3 bolts keeping this in right here. Oops. So there's 3 bolts keeping this in. There's one here. Oh my gosh. So there's one here, one down. Oh my gosh. Alright, so there's one down here, here, there, here, over here, and then all this stuff back over here needs to come off. Okay, I don't have a lot of time to explain because I'm running out of camera data, so I'll say this quickly, or battery, sorry. Alright, so once you've gotten all the bolts taken off right here, there'll be a switch down right there you have to take out, so you get all this. And a nice trick to do is to take these bolts and then start like putting them back where they go. That's a really easy way to keep track of where all your bolts go. Trust me, you'll thank me later. You also don't have to take this off right there, so that'll save you some time. Alright guys, Doctronic here, and real quickly, before we move on to any of this stuff, which will be in another video, we'll talk about a few pointers when taking the header off and things that I found that are really important. The first thing is this heat shield right here. This needs to come off before you work on this EGR tube down there. I found that when you're angling the socket up, what you'll need is you'll need like one of these, one of the ones that bend at the end, so you can kind of reach in back this way, kind of like so you can reach down back that way. You'll need this, what is this, 3-inch socket, maybe something smaller, and then you'll need a 12 mil. The mistake I made is when I used this, the rod would rest onto the heat shield when this faces this way. So it would rest right here. You can kind of see the marks on right here. I'll get a light. Here we go. So it kind of rests on here, and we got all these scratch marks on there. We can see where I was trying to do it. But you can see this EGR. Oh, this is getting caught in everything. You can see this EGR pipe right here. It doesn't exactly face up and down. You can kind of see that. It kind of faces going. It faces kind of going down this way. So you have to get a socket in and around up that way, and then you can get those off. And then this just has 3 bolts that are pretty. This was pretty easy to get off, actually. It's just 3 points, one on the side. So there's one on the top, one back here that you could just use one of those long extensions with. I think it was a 12 mil or something bigger. And then the one on the side. And you will have to take all this off right here to get it. Alright, so let's go over to the manifold I have over here. So looking at it over here, we could see this is the EGR tube right here, and then we have this mount right here, this mount down here, and then back behind here we have one here. So I'm not really sure what this is, but what I do know is that taking this off makes it a lot easier to get to this bolt right there. I'll kind of show you back over here again, so where all those locations are. You do have to take pretty much everything off to get to these. So we have that bottom bolt right there, the EGR pipe, and then those 2 that go there and there. So taking that off, you'll have to take that off. You have to disconnect all the hoses. can disconnect pretty much everything that's connected onto there. We also have a lot of electronics that go onto this side. I tried to show it yesterday, but I kind of had some difficulty. But there's a bolt here, here, and here that need to be taken off, and then one next to it too that's right here. These can all be taken off by 10 mil, but you have to use the smaller sizes. So it's still a 10 mil, but you have two different sizes. You have these big ones right here, and then you have these miniature ones. So there's still the same like socket size, but the back end is a smaller size, and that makes it easier for like a small extension to go through. And this is all the wiring. Oh jeez. And this is all the wiring you get right here. So you don't want to forget where all this goes. You can see right here, this is where those 3 bolts go. There's one here, one there, and then there. Man, the lighting is so bad. So you can see here, we got one on the bottom, one on the top, one back there, and then that bolt down here. This one goes to a different one. This isn't even part of the same thing. That's part of the throttle body. So, yeah, that's pretty much everything right there. And this all just comes off. And then this connects over to this rail right here, and then that goes to the other side. But what we have to do now, which will be in the next video, is we have to take this cover off right here. So you have to get this cover off, and there's like a bolt down here and stuff. So we have to get that out. And that comes onto the other side over here, so we have to take that off. And we can take we have to take some of this exhaust off back here, and it looks like it might not be too difficult, because I think we can just take, well, I'm not sure now. Well, we'll figure it out tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video when we start taking all this out, which is today for me. Don't be afraid to leave comments, and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
We'll be right back.